The 103rd minute against the world champions. A kid from the smallest nation at the World Cup picks the ball up on the left. One touch inside, then a curler past Emiliano Martinez, a World Cup winner, into the far corner. 2-2. Argentina level with Cape Verde in extra time. That strike was voted the best goal of the entire round, and almost nobody watching knew the first thing about the man who scored it. Here is the first thing. 4 years before that night, he had no club at all. Not a bad contract. No contract. Nothing. So how does a kid football threw away end up scoring the goal of the round on the biggest stage there is? Every step of the climb matters. Watch. Sidny Lopes Cabral is born in Rotterdam on the 18th of September 2002. A Dutch city kid with a whole ocean in his name. Because his parents both come from Santiago, the largest island of Cape Verde. 2 flags over 1 crib. Remember that. It becomes the biggest decision of his life. Rotterdam is home to one of the largest Cape Verdean communities in Europe. Criollo in the kitchens, Dutch in the classrooms, football in every gap between. He grows up on Rotterdam street football. Quick feet on hard ground, in the same city that raised generations of Dutch internationals. The talent gets noticed early. FC Twente, one of the proper academies of Dutch football, takes him in. The ladder looks solid. From there, a move abroad to Helsingborg in Sweden, where the club's youth setup rates him a genuine prospect. Young, rapid, fearless. The plan is working. And then the plan meets 2020. The pandemic guts football's finances. Clubs everywhere cut costs, and youth players without first-team minutes are the first to go. By his late teens, Sidny Lopes Cabral is a free agent nobody calls back. For most players, this is exactly where the story quietly ends. No agent hype, no safety net. Just a teenager training alone, refreshing his phone, waiting for one club, anywhere, to say yes. The yes finally comes in 2022, from Rot-Weiß Erfurt in Germany's 4th division. Regionalliga football. Small crowds, long bus rides, zero glamour. Understand what that tier is. Ex-pros on the way down, part-timers. Kids clawing for a route back. Nobody scouts it expecting to find a World Cup hero. He earns his way up a single rung to Viktoria Köln in the 3rd tier. Better football, same anonymity. The big leagues still have no idea he exists. But somebody else did. In 2023, while he was still grinding through the German lower leagues, Cape Verde called. Born and raised in the Netherlands, he could have kept waiting for a Dutch phone call that might never come. Instead, he answered the islands. Understand the timing. No Benfica, no transfer fees. A 3rd division nobody pledged his future to the smallest football nation that wanted him. Loyalty first, fame later. It's the same choice the whole squad is built on. Sons of Rotterdam, Lisbon and Paris, coming home to a flag their parents packed in their suitcases. Portugal made a kind of poetic sense. The language of his parents' islands, the league that has always been the diaspora's doorway back into big football. Then, in the summer of 2025, Portugal takes the chance. Estrela da Amadora, top flight at last. And the kid from the 4th division does not blink. 5 goals and 2 assists in his debut league campaign, direct, versatile, fearless off either flank. Suddenly, every scout's report says the same name. For the first time since Sweden, a club trusted him with real minutes, week after week. And given a full stage at last, everything the lower leagues had built came pouring out. And in December 2025, comes the call that rewrites everything. Benfica, a reported $6.8 million deal signed all the way through 2030. Clubless to Benfica in 4 years flat. And within months, reportedly a €10 million move to Trabzonspor in Turkey. The market had officially caught up. The Dutch kid from the Regional Liga was now a millions-rated professional. And that summer, the bet he'd placed on Cape Verde back in 2023 paid out in full. Because Cape Verde qualified for the World Cup. First time in history. Smallest nation in the field. And he wasn't a passenger. He was in the starting plans. June the 15th, 2026. Spain, the champions of Europe, in the opener. Cape Verde's backline digs in for 90 minutes of siege defence. Spain 0, Cape Verde 0. One of the great World Cup shocks. And the kid the pandemic threw away was part of the wall that held. 6 days later, a wild 2-2 with Uruguay. Then a shutout of Saudi Arabia. The smallest nation at the tournament was through to the knockout rounds. 3 group matches. 2 clean sheets for the defensive unit he worked in. The smallest nation at the World Cup and one of the hardest to score on. Back in Rotterdam, in Lisbon, in Praia, in Mindelo. A scattered nation lost its mind. And the hardest night was still to come. Nobody gave the fairy tale a prayer this time. Group stage miracles are one thing. Knockout football against the best team on the planet is another entirely. The round of 32. Argentina. The reigning champions of the world with a World Cup winning goalkeeper standing behind them. Argentina score. Cape Verde answer. Argentina score again. The fairy tale is minutes from dying, and extra time arrives heavy with dread. And then, in the 103rd minute, with the whole run on the line, the ball finds the son of Rotterdam on the left side. The touch. The shift onto his right. And the curler you saw at the start, arcing over everything a world champion keeper can reach, kissing the far netting. FIFA put the round's goals to a vote. The strike from the once clubless kid beat everything, including everything the superstars scored. Argentina finally won it, 3-2. Cape Verde's run was over. But nobody who watched that night will forget who refused to let it end quietly. Released in a pandemic. Rebuilt in Germany's 4th tier. Loyal to the islands before the fame. And immortalized in extra time on football's grandest night. The islands went home adored. And their fairy tale now has a face that is only 23 years old. Every giant in Europe has his number now. The bigger stages, the bigger fees, the next World Cup, all of it is suddenly in play. And the timeline is on his side. At the next World Cup he will be 27, in his prime, with a golden generation growing around him. The question is no longer whether football wants Sidny Lopes Cabral. It's how far the kid nobody wanted can actually go. If this story stayed with you, subscribe to Beyond the Boots for more. The boots tell the story. We just follow the footsteps.